Well, hello.
Hello.
This is Rich.
This is Brooke.
And this is Kelsey.
And we are here with a special episode of Whiskers.
Woo!
Yay, Whiskers. We are back. We've been busy with soccer and school started, and we decided we needed to have a special episode about ID clinics and some recruiting. College soccer season's coming to a close, and recruiting season is upon us, and we're going to be busy getting out. The Cats will be busy getting out, watching some players and trying to evaluate and identify future Cats, and we're here with a couple people that have been through it. So I'm going to let Brooke kind of take over.
Hello,
and
everyone.
Introduce the subject matter of the day: how to navigate ID clinics.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, so basically some background for this is in the summer, I am a sophomore and I was working on the ID camps with Rich. So I was just being like a helper, checking kids in. Coaching, helping honestly like recruit some kids. We gave our opinions on, who we thought stood out and, other things like that. And I was like, Rich, ID clinics are an art. Like, it's something you learn, it's something you master. And I felt that I had a lot of experience with them, a lot of experience with ID camps. I think I went to so many. And that I actually had a list of things that I would do and make sure that I, accomplished for every ID camp so that I could, make an impression, be noticeable, and then be satisfied with how I treated my ID clinic experience. So
we a lot. You said so many.
So many.
We're talking over 10?
Over 10 for
Oh
sure.
my
Because
God.
Over 20.
I started on it. My first ID camp I did was actually Northwestern, 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, because I didn't even know what college was, and my some of my teammates and our dad were like, "Let's just go this." I'm like, "What is Northwestern?" And they're like, "Just go. It's great." I'm like, "Okay."
Soccer practice.
It was like a soccer camp. It was like practice, and yeah, it was fun. And that's the first time I saw Northwestern.
How many ID clinics did you do at Northwestern?
At least one every year.
So at least 4?
5.
At least 4, and then
Oh, yeah.
there's the 2-day one. Are we gonna count
Oh
that?
my
separately?
That counts as one. That counts as
That
one.
counts as one.
We're doing summer camps too.
Yeah. So it was a lot, but it was fun. And I was like, I need to come here.
Are you in the Northwestern ID Clinic Hall of Fame?
Am I? That's a question to ask
Definitely.
Michael.
Okay, we should ask, because you should be if you're not.
I hope I am, but
Yeah.
we'll ask Michael.
Same with the
We'll
Force
get back
girls.
to
They
Yes.
definitely have been coming every year.
We need to talk about that. We
Yeah.
do have several players on our team and several future Cats that have come through the ID clinics for sure.
you. Yeah.
So continue, Brooke.
So I think that we'll start with our day before ID clinic. What is something that you do the day before that gets you started? And then we'll go through all the tips and tricks that you use on the actual day. So we're going to have our special guest, Kelsey Kwon, take it away with what you do the day before an ID clinic to make sure that you're ready the actual day of.
The
Yeah.
pride of Washington.
I'm from Seattle. It's so cool there.
Oh, give us a little introduction on yourself
Oh, yeah.
first, Kelsey.
I'm a junior. I am studying economics with a minor in business and a human-computer interaction certificate. Fancy way of saying a mix of computer science, design, AI, just the technology world we're living in.
And you have really good eye contact with the camera.
Am I supposed to?
You have to.
Fine, I'll look at the people I'm talking to.
Yes.
I feel less awkward.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys. I'm from Seattle. I love Seattle. I have never been to the Midwest except for coming to college. So, born and raised there, will always love home. But yeah. Anyways, back to this whole ID camp thing. Backstory on my story situation. ID camps were not necessarily my thing, and I didn't go to that many. Our recruiting was very different. We were a lot earlier. And so I think I went to about 3. The first one was about with 10 other colleges, which was just crazy, and 600 girls, so pretty impossible to get looked at there. And then I went to a couple others, never went to a Northwestern one, so I got recruited a little bit differently, but there are definitely perks to ID camps, and as Brooke said, there is an art to perfect. So starting with day before ID camps, basically treat it like a day before game. Get your hydration right, get your food, get a good carb load in the night before, and then also make sure pasta. Maybe Olive Garden, I don't know. Like something Maggiano's, like something good. But yeah, get like good food in, get good sleep in, get good hydration in, and then definitely email the coaches if you have been in contact with them. Text them, letting them know you're coming, or email them the night or a couple days before to just let them know that you're coming, so they kind of have you on their radar. Definitely, like, coaches kind of have obviously a list of who's going, so if they know you or are coming, it's better for them to kind of have you starred or check marked, whatever it may be. That's kind of day for a game, and then I don't know, just treat it like a game day. Like, it's fun, it's stressful, but we thrive under pressure.
Yeah. And I would say a little point, and maybe Rich, you can confirm or deny, with emailing coaches. I think if they already know about you, they're definitely going to appreciate that email, but sometimes they're getting how many emails before
Hundreds.
ID camps?
Yeah.
Hundreds of ID camp emails.
Well, not before. We only have 60 people at our ID camps here.
Okay.
How many emails do you think you get?
Well, some people double up, so let's say about 50 to 80.
Wow.
That are coming.
And do you go through them all and like?
Yeah, we want to know who's coming.
Okay, so that's good. So
and do a little background. Sometimes we'll call a club coach ahead of time or a high school coach and find out more to prepare.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's Northwestern specifically, which is really good. But sometimes there's like huge ID camps where a bunch of colleges are coming, and then there's so many people.
And we'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
But we're going to hone in on the day of the ID
Woo!
clinic.
The day of the
It's a
ID.
big
This
day.
is Brooke / Kelsey's surefire way to maximize your performance and your exposure at an ID clinic. And you are going to love this guide. So if you're listening or if you're watching us on YouTube, take notes.
Facts.
Okay, so the first thing that I think is very important to do is make an impression. That's number one. And what I mean by that is in the warm-up. That's not a time for you to just like warm up and just be like lackadaisical. I think your high knees have to be better than everybody else's high knees. Your scoops wider than everybody else's scoops. Okay?
Scoop it up.
Scoop it up.
Scoop it up.
So I think just note that the coaches are watching, even if it's in warm-up. Make sure you're focused. Make sure you're ready to be there. They'll probably take note if you're messing around, right? Talking to other people. I don't know. This might be also like just in my head, but this is what I think works for me.
No, I think it's valid. Also, there's a lot of players that join in on these ID camps. Like, I remember when I did it over the summer, like, I was watching your warm-up. Like, I was, like, seeing who's, like, very into it and who's, like, kind of casually going through the motions. Whether the coaches are setting up and they're not actually watching the warm-up, usually, or sometimes, especially at ours, it's player-led.
Yeah.
So make sure you're getting good touches in, make sure you're getting a good stretch in, make sure you're dialed in.
Yeah. I was talking to Morgan, our goalie coach, actually just before we were doing this, and the second thing is, like, when you get to the ID camp, interesting enough, be nice to your parents. Don't yell at your parents. She's taking note of people who are bossing their parents around and saying, bye, mom and dad, love you, see you after the ID camp. Okay, after that, after you're done putting your shin guards on, whatever, start passing around. She also said she takes note of the people who start to pass, get some touches in, versus the ones who just, like, wait for everything to start. So I think that's also part of making an impression. First in the huddle. Opinionated, but I think if you're the one that's running first in the huddle, the type of person that's answering the questions of the coaches, they're like, how are you doing? You're like, good, how are you? Those kids are the ones that everybody notices.
Okay, wait. Rewind. So by huddle, you mean when a coach says everybody in?
Yeah. I'm
like
jogging.
you're jogging.
I'm jogging.
/
You're
running.
sprinting.
You're getting there.
I'm jogging. Every huddle.
And you're really uncomfortably close.
Yes.
And you're giving Kelsey Kwon to the camera type eye contact.
Like, it's
to
like
the coach.
Let's not be weird.
zone.
Okay,
I'm
no.
sure they'll take note of that too.
No, I'm just defining. Okay, so huddle is when coaches say, everybody in, here we go. And you are first one there.
I will try. I'm not going to get in like a
hover?
head.
Do you hover close to the coach so you know you'll be first?
No.
Because that'd be cheating.
No.
You look at it.
I'm not getting in a 40-meter dash with the girls next to me. But I'm jogging to the coaches. I'm putting my hands on my hip, foot on the ball. I'm ready to listen to what he has to say.
Smile on your face, acting like you love this and want to
Acting
be
like
there.
you want to be there.
Because
yeah.
you do.
Okay.
That's why
You
you're
do.
here.
I'm jogging to water breaks. I'm jogging to the huddles after water breaks. I mean all huddles. And I know a lot of times we were also talking to Jenny, our other coach here. She was talking about the fact that she was one of the shy kids, and she thought that the ones that were always like answering questions, doing all that stuff were a little bit annoying. And don't get me wrong, I think it's annoying too. And not always me, but sometimes it was me. And I think it's annoying too, don't get me wrong. But she even said that at the end of the day, that was the kid that she remembered.
True.
And you know who that kid is, and you notice her in drills, you notice her in scrimmages, because you're worried that now she's the coach's favorite, and you think it's annoying, but maybe she is the coach's favorite now.
Also, you're never going to remember them when you leave, unless you make really good friends and
Exactly.
connections. Like, this is your time to shine.
Exactly.
Like,
Who
you
cares?
take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the girls that were, like, asking questions, being involved.
Yeah.
Along with that, at the beginning, we usually do, like, a Q&A, or at the middle, I don't remember. Ask questions. Like, don't make it awkward for us to just stand there and be like,
Yes,
all right, no
please.
questions? Like, what?
Especially if it's players
Yeah,
too. Like,
yeah.
they notice who asks questions. My dad would always tell me, come prepared with questions. I would have at least 3
Yeah.
that I could ask if there was Q&A.
Also, you want to, like, you might go to school here. You want to know the little things that you want to hear directly from players who are experiencing it day in and day out. Ask those questions, be interested, act interested, and just kind of, like, learn. Like, this is an opportunity that whether you are flying in or driving in, you're coming to an ID camp and make the most of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your go-to question of your
Oh, I wasn't
Oh my
prepared for this. I didn't prepare questions before.
top of your head? First thing
Okay.
that comes to mind.
I will say that it was probably a little bit specific to the school, but I think Northwestern. Okay. I guess I would ask, what does an average week look like for a player here? Like, what are your schedules?
That's specific to Northwestern?
No.
I
don't have a question.
Okay, I got one.
We can come back to it.
I know all the answers
Okay,
about
no, this is
We
fine.
can come back to it.
This is one that a lot of people ask, and it's good because it's relevant. What is school soccer life
ratio?
balance?
That was actually
Yes.
what I was just thinking of
Yes.
after I just got embarrassed.
Okay,
Because
fair.
you know
That's a good
Northwestern's
question.
smart. That's the one that a lot of people ask and should ask.
What's the school to soccer ratio?
Interesting way to put it.
Yes.
Work-life balance.
Work-life balance.
Right.
I feel like that's what I asked when I went to
That's
Nigeria.
Okay.
Probably not.
So we're making an impression by being alert, getting to the huddles, eye contact,
Be
good body
slightly
language.
annoying, not too much.
Mm-hmm.
Talking
There's
and
always
listening.
too much.
Yeah.
I think also last thing with making an impression is answer questions. I was also talking to the coaches out there. I was at an ID camp here in Northwestern. Michael asked a question about like probably Premier League or something like that. And I tried to answer it. I got it wrong. And I was so embarrassed, and I was like, I'm not coming here. Guess what, guys? I'm here. So even if you answer a question wrong, at least you tried. And it's probably not the end of the world.
And if you come to a Northwestern ID clinic, study the Premier League, especially
Manchester
Manchester
Michael.
United.
because that's
Manchester
Michael's
United.
favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, and just talk
Good
to them
job,
about
though.
Manchester
Way to be
United.
fearless.
Take note. If you're taking notes, that's one to take note
I'll
on.
say, as far as making an impression, that I started working at Northwestern the summer before your senior year, I think it was.
Rich actually has met me in ID camp.
And
Really?
the impression you made on me, the thing I remember, is that we were playing small-sided games in the afternoon, like 4-on-4 to small goals, and your team wasn't great.
They weren't. I was gonna get to that actually.
But you were organizing your team and making sure people were playing, good defense and giving them suggestions on how to play better. So that was the most memorable thing, the thing that I remembered most about you, and that was a great quality to have.
Thanks, Rich. I was gonna talk about that actually.
Oh, I didn't mean
Good
to jump on
segue,
that.
huh?
I was
Good
talking about
segue.
making an
Good segue.
impression.
Okay,
Good segue.
we'll actually just go straight into that then. The play, like the start of play. We'll talk about that. Dominate when the coaches are watching, especially. Always. But like if you notice the coach walks over to your drill, put your game pants on.
Right.
Because it's time to dominate now. It's now. Like, you guys will rotate, going from drill to drill. Because not everyone's doing the same thing all at once, at least at Northwestern's ID camps. And so when I saw Michael come over with his tee and his bucket hat,
Right. Oh, yeah.
And
In
his
the
clipboard.
summer.
on.
And his clipboard.
And his
and his clipboard, game on. And then, that part of that was be a leader even on a losing team. Like, it doesn't matter if your team sucks. If you see that, like Rich said, like, if the coaches see that you're, like, organizing, being a leader, trying to encourage players, not yelling at players, encourage them, be a positive leader, but, like, persistent. I think that's something that coaches really notice. Because you're not going to get lucky every single time. You cannot count on being on the best team, especially in ID camp. It's all random. Sometimes.
It's often random.
There you go. So yeah, Rich talked a lot about that. Small talk on the sidelines. Rich loves to talk on the sidelines. I noticed that recently at our ID camps.
I like to get to know the peeps. I like to get to know the folks. So talking and listening is a good way to get to know somebody and why they're here. And we also want people come to check out the school and the program, so I want to make sure that they get some interaction to get an idea of what we're like, or I can answer questions individually.
And then I have try and play your position at least once. This is specific to me. I'll ask Kelsey what she did when this time happened, but when you were put on a team and the coaches are like, okay, organize yourself in what you're playing, like 9v9. They're like, organize yourself into whatever formation you want. I was usually the one that would organize the team. So I would be like, okay, do you guys like, who plays defense, who plays offense? We need a 6. Okay, great, I'll play 6. And then I'll be like, so do you guys want to play defense, blah, blah, blah. I organized the team so that I could make sure that I was playing my position at least once. I wasn't going to say no if someone was like, sub me out, and then I had to play like a position I'd never played before. At least you got to play your position at least once, because obviously that's what you're trying to get recruited with. And I think obviously if you're more shy and you don't want to be the one, I guess I was annoying and I wanted to assert my dominance.
The annoying one.
I was the annoying one sometimes. But if you're shy, there's also ways to do that. Just ask somebody to switch. Hopefully they're not horrible and are like, no, stay away from me. I would just say try and play what you're best at least once.
And I'll add, if you're not getting to play your position, tell one of the coaches.
That's a good one.
Because we are sensitive to that. And if it's not happening through some poor interaction between the campers, then we'll jump in.
Yeah, I remember at the ID camps over the summer, like Michael would switch people up because some people weren't playing their positions. Like they will switch it up so you can play their position. But again, like Brooke said, start in your position. Don't be annoying about it. Like whatever. If you're starting and someone else wants your spot to be like, hey, like we can switch halfway through and play the other position. That's fine. But just you got to get in your position at least once because this is your shot.
Yeah, and I'm thinking also sometimes like everyone at ID camps is usually solo. You usually don't have a lot of friends there. You're usually very nervous because obviously it's an ID camp. I hated them. Not a lot of people like them. But I think it was a little bit easier for me to like assert my dominance in these scenarios because nobody else wanted to. Like nobody else wanted to be the one that was like, okay, what do you guys play? We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Like not a lot of people were going to be the ones that wanted to do that. So I was like, everybody's shy. I'm going to take advantage of this moment and try and not be the shy one, like right when this huddle is happening.
Exactly.
So maybe take a gamble. If you're not the like most out there person, maybe try it out of your comfort zone, just for the scrimmages even.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I have one more thing. This may be niche, but make friends. So you have a little squad to hang out with in the ID camps, and usually I would make friends after a couple of the drills. So I would know who the good ones were. Because I felt that if the coaches saw me hanging out with the ones that were like, that they were looking at, then they're going to look at all of us.
Right.
That is just next level smart.
It's like, this is cutthroat.
You got to play the game.
It's like Hunger Games.
Right.
You got to play the game.
You got to play the game.
Like Kelsey said, like, get yourself allies.
Right, allies.
Make it good. So you don't die. So you don't
Acquaintances.
die in the ring.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, let's review our handy dandy Brooke and Kelsey guide to successful ID clinicking.
So we have make an impression, warm up, passes before the coaches even call everyone together. First in the huddle, be annoying but not too annoying, because people knows that too. Answer questions if you want to put yourself out there. Dominate when the coaches are watching. Be a leader even on a losing team. Small talk on the sidelines to the coaches. Try and play your position at least once. And make friends. Hopefully they're good. If they're not, it could still help to have friends.
Good friends or good players?
Let's try and get both.
Okay.
Yeah, you want the both.
Fair.
But
I like that.
Sometimes I would prioritize players.
And prior to the clinic, Kelsey, what do we do before and the day before?
Hydration, sleep, email the coach. They're going to read it, like Rich said. Afterwards, follow-up email. Also, forgot to mention, put a smile on your face, say thank you,
Okay.
do all like the courteous gestures. Coaches notice that, and like you want to act like you want to be there, so put a
After
smile on
the
your
ID
face.
cam?
All throughout. Even after, say thank you with a smile on your face, like thank you for letting me come. Go up to the coach after, like talk to him. Even if there's a long line, like do it.
Question: did you take a picture with the coaches after your ID clinic?
One time I did. I actually have a picture of my me and my friends here at my first ever ID camp here.
With the coaches or
with
just
Marquette
with friends?
coach, actually. The
Oh.
Marquette coach.
Oh, great. Good.
Good. I'm
Well,
glad it was
good.
not with Michael.
It was
Yeah.
a little bit awkward,
Sure, Michael
but people
appreciates
just, okay, nowadays it's a little bit of a different game.
I was gonna say the same.
I don't think when I was in ID camps, I rarely saw somebody taking a photo with the coach
Yeah.
afterwards. Because we didn't, I don't know, we just didn't like,
You didn't post.
we didn't have soccer Instagrams.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't
It's
have
a whole
that. We
new
didn't have
thing
soccer
now.
Twitters. Like
I
Worlds-
did have a soccer Twitter.
Oh, okay. Well, before that time, I didn't know anyone
But
in
that
my
was
area
COVID.
that
That
had
was
it.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this whole like new, honestly, it's a new world of recruiting. Like there, it's all social media based, which was not the same for mine. So like I'd take a picture of the coach and what would I do with that?
Right.
Like I'm not posting that.
And you know what?
Because you had a great day.
I posted it on
Oh.
Instagram actually. Not my
Okay.
soccer Instagram. But
That's why she's.
but I will say, like next year if we podcast, the ones that are coming in next year probably will have a better like,
Definitely.
scope on
Right.
what
The
these soccer Instagrams are
2024
like.
class.
2024 class.
Yeah.
So I hope that we can get their impression on that. But for right now, we're just talking about in-person ID camps because that's what it was like old school
Yeah. We
We're-
weren't
we're
here
old
before the
school.
new rule changes, except were you?
back in our day.
Were you here for the new rule changes?
Halfway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was way before that.
Yeah.
You were.
So
Yeah.
different world, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a couple things post ID clinic would be to send a follow-up email and include on your email, who you are, the class, your graduating class, what club you play for, and where we could continue to see you play in the near future. And obviously, if you had a good experience and you're still very interested, express that. Sometimes asking for feedback is hard because we have, at Northwestern we'll have 50 to 60 campers. It's hard to give everyone feedback. It might be good to ask for feedback at the end of the day, just a quick verbal, how did it go? If you ask for feedback in an email, we will try. One thing that works well is to have your club coach contact us after the event to ask about you and if any of your club mates were at the clinic, how they did. That seems to get our attention pretty quickly.
Can I add something or a question for you? Do you think that the ID camps that have like 10 colleges plus they're watching like more than 100 girls, like a couple hundred maybe sometimes, do you think those are useful to go to?
Well, this is a whole nother episode.
Open a can of
It
worms.
depends. It depends. Because there's a lot of colleges that can't afford to come see you play all the time. You're too far away or they don't get out as much. And so it's good to be seen by colleges you might not get be seen by. And if a lot of them come to one ID clinic, they can see you. One of the challenges for me at an ID clinic where I'm one of 10 or 40 colleges is I don't get to see everybody all the time. And I get to see people in very small little bites. And it's often not good enough. It usually just gets my interest enough to go watch a video or go see that person play again. So it kind of depends a little bit, I think, on your situation.
Yeah. So if you recommend if people really want to come to Northwestern, they should maybe try and get out to a Northwestern specific ID camp?
I think maybe it's definitely a great opportunity to see you in person if we can. But obviously, watching club games and video are great as well.
Yeah, that was my main recruiting streamline, was sending over video film and games, like full 90-minute games that like Michael and the coaching staff could watch. Because being from Seattle and then COVID hit and there was a dead period and all that, I couldn't come out to an ID camp. There's other ways. I also think like Brooke's experience and a lot of people on our team, ID camps do help. So it's so dependent on the situation, the timing of it, and like, I don't know, the process.
In my opinion, I think, I'll have to check with Michael afterwards, but I think the reason I'm here is because of all the AD camps
There you go.
that I went to. Maybe. Could be wrong.
and tune in until the
Tune in
next
next week,
episode
you'll
of
find the
Whiskers.
answer.
There he
When we
is.
ask, well, Michael's here. Maybe we can
Should
get
we
him.
get him?
Let's get him in at the end of
Right.
this episode.
Oh, then.
Should
Well,
we
it's the
well,
end.
it's ending right now. Michael, can we ask you? Can we get a quick feature?
Michael!
We have a question.
Oh, a serious question.
He left.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, that's so awkward.
So we're gonna have to get Coach Michael Moynihan on an episode.
He's
of
just
Whiskers
shy,
'cause
guys. He's really nice.
He clearly is
Yeah.
reluctant at this point.
He is very nice.
Maybe Morgan. Morgan, can you come in for a moment? We have one.
He's not here.
Morgan's not here, and Jenny's new, so she wasn't even here when Brooke was in ID clinic. Okay, you have a mystery. We have a mystery for the next
We're
one.
trying to figure out if Brooke is here just because of the ID camps.
Guys, we're trying
If
to
that
figure
was
it
the
out.
main
I
reason
guess
she
we
made
can
an
just,
impression.
Like, casually ask Michael.
We'll go on. We'll answer this on next week's episode.
Okay, yes.
Well, maybe not next week, but next episode.
So, do you want to tease next episode? Hopefully, it won't take 6 weeks because we're gonna make a commitment.
Tease. Hopefully, we're gonna go with the goalies for our next
They
episode.
still haven't done it.
They still haven't done
Who
it.
are they?
The three
Oh,
goalies. We
they're
have Gina,
crazy.
CJ, and Riley. All very special people, very unique people.
We're gonna dive into the world of goalkeeping, and maybe we'll get a couple minutes with Coach Morgan, rule the goalie coach
And
as
it's
well.
Yeah.
a whole world.
It's a whole world.
They're the best.
We love our goalies. They're a little bit nutty, but we love
Right.
them. And our
Right.
goalie coaches.
So hopefully that'll be the next episode. So tune in if you're a goalie. If you're not a goalie, tune in also. And we can't wait to see you guys next time.
Okay. Hope you had a good Halloween. Getting ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas and holiday season.
Holiday season.
Yay.
Woo!
See you next time.
Bye,
Whiskers.
guys.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.